in today's webinar. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes to allow other participants to join in and settle down, and then we'll get started with today's discussion. However, we'll be using this time to understand about two very important topics. The first one is related directly with you. You all have taken time out of your hectic schedule, and you're here joining us here today to learn how to create digital catalog for your business. So we certainly want that you should benefit the most from this webinar. And that's where it is crucial for you to understand how you can participate or interact in this webinar. So that's where, firstly, let me share with you how you can get responses to questions or queries that you may have. So that's where down below in your Zoom panel, that's where you'll see there's an option called Q&A and chat. So for all the questions or queries or anything which is not clear to you, you want me to elaborate it further, that is where we will be using the Q&A option. So any question that you want to ask, and towards the end of the session, we will be dedicating some time wherein all your questions, I'll try to answer all of them. So that's where we have to use which option? Q&A. The other option is chat, which we will be using for our interactions. So there are two types of interactions that will be happening today. One is wherein you can interact or connect with other business owners like yourself who are joining us here today. So you can share a brief introduction about your business and what are your product offerings, etc., with the other participants in today's session. The second interaction which we'll be doing is I will be seeking your responses or your suggestions or your views on certain items that we'll be discussing in today's webinar. So that's where you'll be using the chat to share your responses. All right. So chat and Q&A. So use questions, use Q&A for questions and chat for interaction. All right. Technically, it is possible that you can add your question in the chat as well, but because there's sometimes a lot of exchange happening in the chat, so there is a possibility that your question might get missed out and you may not get a response from my side. So that's where it is always advised that you should add your question in the chat. Apart from that, I will be sharing my contact details as well here with everyone. So if you would want to connect with me after this session to discuss anything in person, you are more than welcome to do that. So I'll just quickly share my details in the chat. So I've shared my email ID. So if any one of you would want to connect in person, you can do that. So this is where I think we should get started. There is a lot that we have to discuss in today's session. So let's get started. I will start my screen share, but before I do that, so there is a sort of a issue which has happened in a few of my previous webinars. So I just sort of sharing with the audience how a few tips on how they can resolve those issues in case you also come across those issues. So when I start sharing my screen, for most of you, it will go full screen and you'll be able to see my screen and also understand it. But there has been few instances where it hasn't gone full screen, and those instances specifically happened with the participants who were joining through their smart devices, their smartphones. So how to solve for that challenge? To solve for that challenge, there are two tips that I will be giving to you. The first tip is try to hold your phone in a landscape mode. So instead of holding it like in a portrait mode, something like this, hold it like this so that when I start sharing the screen, it automatically goes into the full screen view and you are able to see the screen. The second is, even if you have done that, right? So you are not seeing the screen full, you are seeing it like this small. So you have to turn it around, but still it is not. So in that case, step out of the meeting and join back again. That should fix the issue. So these were two suggestions I thought of sharing before I start sharing my screen. All right, so this is where we will now formally begin this session. So I am going to start sharing my screen, but before I do that, I think I should also welcome the participants who have just joined in. So once again, good afternoon and a warm welcome to all the participants in today's session. My name is Adnan. I'm here. I'm your presenter today, and I will be helping you understand how you can create a digital catalog for your business and use it to grow your business digitally in the new normal. So let's begin, I am going to start sharing my screen. And so in next few seconds, you'll start seeing my screen. Just give me a few more seconds to start doing that. So the screen share has started, and I believe all of you can also hear me properly. I am just looking at a few of the vitals, so everything seems to be working fine. Now, you might be a little confused that why has he opened a website? What about the presentation? So we'll be going to the presentation and we'll be discussing that topic. But very quickly, I'll take a moment to answer a sort of a common question that gets kind of frequently asked in our webinars. And that is where people are not clear about what GlobalLinker is and what do we do. So GlobalLinker is a business networking and digitization enablement platform. So I have stressed on two aspects: business networking, so wherein you can connect and network with business owners from 150 countries, and the other end is digitization enablement, where businesses can digitize themselves. Now, not confusing you in talking in more con man's language. So if we look around, we find like many businesses are there who does not have any sort of digital presence. They don't even have an email ID. Now we also understand at the other end that digital is the way forward. So any business that has to survive and grow in next 3 to 5 years, if they don't have a digital presence, they'll find it difficult to grow and survive. So that's where it is extremely important. Not only important, it's crucial for any business to digitize themselves and adopt digital ways of doing business. Now, when it comes to micro and small businesses, this challenge is even significant because of their size. And many of these micro and small businesses don't even have an agency or someone who can help them with this digitization journey. So that is where GlobalLinker comes in, and any business who wants to digitize themselves, they can do that very easily, very uh, effortlessly using the GlobalLinker solution. So that is where the digitization enablement comes into play, and that is where any business can create a digital catalog for themselves, and we'll be understanding that process in a greater detail later. All right, so that was a quick introduction about GlobalLinker. Now, related to this, there's one more question that gets asked, that we are joining from ICICI Biz Circle GlobalLinker, or we are joining from RAI GlobalLinker. So what are these? So these are various partnerships that we have. And on the screen, if you look at, so we have added few of them here. So this where ICICI Bank or Union Bank of Philippines or MasterCard or HSBC or Standard Chartered Bank or ADCB, Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank, Yes Bank, Commercial Bank of Ceylon, which is in Sri Lanka, uh, or Federation of All India Export Organization, which is a apex export promotion body by the government of India. All these are our partnerships, and we partner with government entities or trade bodies or large organization that has a significant interest in the growth and betterment of MSMEs. All right, so that was a quick introduction about GlobalLinker, and I've just done that because in my previous sessions, I've experienced that many people had this question and we wanted to understand about GlobalLinker. And obviously, when I'll be giving my introduction and we'll be going down the journey to understand the digital catalog, you'll be able to relate to it. So that's why I thought of sharing a brief introduction about GlobalLinker. All right, so this is where I am now going to start sharing the presentation very quickly. So we have the presentation and let's begin. So this is a quick introduction about myself as well. So my name is Adnan. I'm Director SME Commerce Growth at GlobalLinker, and my functional or my focus area at GlobalLinker is digital commerce. And in addition to that, I actively work on sharing knowledge and information with business owners like you on how they can use digital and technology to grow their business. In today's day and age, you will agree that technology is no longer a challenge, right? So the availability of technology is no longer a challenge. However, knowing how to use that technology is the challenge. So that is where we try our best to share as much knowledge, as much information with business owners so that they can use these wonderful technology solutions to grow their business. All right. And in continuance of this effort of sharing knowledge and information with business owners, so far I has been able to conduct about 400 such sessions in various countries and had the wonderful opportunity of connecting, networking, and interacting with about 12,000 business owners. So that was a quick introduction about myself. We'll very quickly understand what are the topics or what are the broader topics that we are going to discuss in today's session. The first one is why your business needs a digital catalog. What is the purpose? Then digital catalog versus information websites, and then we'll quickly jump on to how to create a digital catalog, and I will walk you through step-by-step process, and then completeness checklist. So there are a few tools that I will be providing so that you can use and you can ascertain or evaluate for yourself whether your digital catalog is complete or not, and then we'll move on to how to avail digital catalog setup service, and lastly we will open for discussion. We'll move to into an open discussion session. So let's begin and let's understand the first topic, why your business needs a digital catalog. And this is where I will be taking you through an example, a very, very interesting case study. And this is where I will also need your responses. So let me just share the question or put that question in front of you, and let me see what you think. So this is Dr. Michael Hausmans. He is an economist and a data scientist, and not very long ago, he did a research on why some customer service agents stayed in their jobs longer than others. I am repeating the topic of research, and this is where many of the participants must be getting a little confused. Why is he like discussing economics here? So this is something which you'll be able to relate to. So the objective of his research was why some customer service agents or sales professionals stay in their jobs for longer as compared to others. What were those differentiating factors? And surprisingly, his discovery led to something which we all are very familiar with. Now, what are these? So this is the question I wanted to ask the audience. What are these? If you can share your responses in the chat. So I'll just quickly open the chat. Just give me a second, and then yeah. So what are these? Sorry, I also close the presentation, so apologies for that, and I will just move it to the side so that it is not obstructing the view. And what are these? So audience, what are these the icons that you're seeing on your browser? Any guesses? These icons which you're seeing on your browser, any guesses? What are these? Yeah, these are browsers. These are various browsers which are there. Now, and let me just hide it, otherwise it will keep obstructing or disturbing us. So these are various browsers. Now, like if you're thinking, how are these even related, right? So he was trying to research how why people are staying longer in the job, why they are not leaving the job, and then I'm showing you the visuals of icons of browsers. So how are these even related? So what he discovered was very, very unique. And that's what I thought of sharing with you all when we are starting off this discussion. The unique discovery or unique thing that he discovered was the people who were using uh, Edge and Safari were not staying longer in their jobs, whereas people who were using Chrome or Firefox, they were staying longer. And does not imply that Chrome and Firefox are better browsers or they have something special. But and the other discovery or other realization which he further studied, he also understood that these individuals who have downloaded Chrome or Firefox on their devices, they were more happy, they were more successful, and they were doing more sales as compared to the other individuals who were just using Safari or Internet Explorer. Why? So what is like there is some technical thing happening with Internet Explorer or Safari, and that's why these people were not so successful, or these people were not so happy, or they were not able to do that many sales. No, the different lies in the human tendency to look for or make effort to change the default. Safari is a default browser in Mac. Internet Explorer is a default browser in Windows. Now, the individuals who continue to use the default without making an effort to change or change the default or making an effort to do things better, they were unhappy. They were not getting the sales. They were not uh, converting that many conversions. They were not happier. But the people who put or voluntarily put effort to change the default to make it better, those were the individuals. So they were changing the sales script, they were modifying or finding out ways to connect with more clients or to convert them into more sales. So they were putting in all that effort. So why your business needs a digital catalog? Because you also want to change the default. You don't want to stick with the default. Default is whatever has been happening, but we have to all put in effort to change this default so that we can also be happier, we can also generate a lot of sales, and we can be more successful as well. So that is a very interesting case study I thought of sharing with everyone. Now, moving on, I'll also share one more case study and few other examples wherein organizations who have not realized the importance of digital have failed. So the next case study is about another gentleman who realized the importance of digital. So year was 1995, and internet was a new thing at that time. So the person was visiting US, and his friend introduced him to the internet. So he immediately tried to understand that thing, and he searched for the first thing, which was beer, and he were able to find some result onto that. And the next thing that this person searched. So this is where, imagine, the computer is still a very new thing. It is back 1995. Internet is a new thing, and some person explained to him that this is where you can go and you can search for things. And he searched for his own country, and he was not able to find anything. So that's where they sat. They created a page, and then they left it. Uh, the next day, his friend called up and then uh, asked him that, have you checked your email? There are like 75 emails that you have received. And that person, what is an email? So that's where that person realized that how important digital is and how efficiently and effortlessly you can grow your business or your economy using the digital mediums. And that person was Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. And we all know that Alibaba story. So I just also thought of sharing another real life story with you, how a person realized the importance of digital and they have leveraged or utilized it in the right way to grow their business. Now, here I'm sharing few more examples wherein people have failed, and these are like very, very large organizations that have suffered or failed because they didn't realize the importance. I'll just quickly go back. So they didn't realize the importance of digital. And so on one side where you're seeing, right, these are all organizations or examples that didn't realize the importance of digital. And on the other hand, these are the organizations in the black, which didn't make an effort to change the default. All right. So I thought of sharing few examples. Now, let's try to understand it more practically. So we have a business called Majestic Enterprises, and they are a manufacturer and seller of garments and based out of Delhi, and they do like 15, 20 orders per day. Now we have to increase this volume all the way to 100 orders per day. How do we do that? So let's first evaluate the non-digital mediums, which are the conventional mediums. So if you are utilizing the conventional mediums, in that case, we can decide to participate in event and exhibition. Now, depending on which event or exhibition we are participating, it may cost us up to 5 lakhs, and then appoint a or even more, appoint ground seals team, again 30 to 50K per month sort of expense, appoint ordering agents. So that is where again 15 to 20% joint trade association, depending on how much is their fees of those association. And then again, there's no guarantee that you'll get orders, and then publish ads in relevant magazines, etc. Again, it will cost around 20,000 to 1L. So this is where I've also added some cost. Now these are not like specific ones, but average. So this is where you can imagine that all of these initiatives are doable, but they are all costing a sizable amount of money. Now, at the same time, if you are trying to achieve the same objective or same target of getting 100 orders, in that case, we can use digital mediums, and let's understand how much those digital initiatives will cost us. So if you decide to create an e-commerce website, and that would cost you nothing if you're doing it yourself, or even if you hire a agency and do a very heavy custom build, about 3 lakhs of rupees, search and display advertising, 1 lakh, assuming 2% conversion, and 20%, 20 rupees per click. Networking platforms, benefit is available free of cost. So you can go to networking platforms and search for potential customers and connect with them and explain them about your offerings and generate business from there, absolutely free. Emails are newsletters, so again it will cost you about 5,000, depending on how much volume you are doing. And if you're selling through ONDC, again, you will be able to do that free of cost. So this is where what you would realize is if you're adopting digital mediums, it is not only cost effective, it is easier to implement, these are quicker to implement, and these are replicable. So you can keep replicating them, and that's where you will be able to sustain a volume as well in future. All right. Now, this is where, again, I don't have to explain, like, just imagine that you have to do a event, and let's say you are organizing some party at your organization, and that's where you have to invite 500 people. So how you'll be inviting? You'll not be going to every place and inviting them. You'll most probably be sharing the invitation. If you have to do that quickly and in least money, you'll be sharing the invitation via WhatsApp, right? So you'll be using digital medium. So that clarifies that digital is quicker, it is least expensive. And when we are using digital in our personal lives, why not use that in our business as well and make it more efficient as well as cost effective? All right. So now let's move on to understand what is a digital catalog. So digital catalog is a website or a computer file used to provide, and I'm just reading the textual explanation, but don't worry, I will be explaining that in a greater detail so that you can understand this not only conceptually, but also various versions and with examples as well. So this is a digital catalog is a website or a computer file used to provide examples of the product work or a person's work or a product offered by business in digital format, which can easily be accessed digitally by prospective customers. All right. So it is essentially a website. So digital catalog is what? It is a website. However, this website has something unique. What are these unique things? So first unique thing is that it can showcase product and services. Understood? It can showcase product and services. So that is the first unique thing. The second unique thing is it can accept orders or generate lead, depending on what type of business you are into. So it is B2C, you will generate orders. If you are into B2B, that's where you'll generate leads. So these are the two unique features of a digital catalog. The third one is like assumed. It will certainly have, that is showcase information about that business. So that's where I've written assumed as well. So this is explanation of digital catalog, but I can imagine this is not very clear. If I was in your position, this will not be very, very clear. So what we'll be doing is we'll be very quickly switching our screen, and I'll take you to an example. So the first example, deliberately have kept something which is sort of easy to relate to, because we are all familiar with online shopping, and this is something that you will find relatable, especially the female audience will find this very interesting. So this is a digital catalog, and what you are seeing on your screen is one type of digital catalog that you can create. So this is where a end customer can come and they can review the product, and they can understand about the product, and once they are convinced, once they have made their mind that this is the product I would want to buy, in that case they can place an order, right? So this is one example of digital catalog. However, this is not the only type of digital catalog, because this is where I can imagine the participants who are from the B2B side of the business, they must be thinking, like, this is not relevant to us. We are into B2B business, so don't worry. The next example that I'm going to show to you is from this business, from B2B. So this is again a digital catalog, one of our users' digital catalog that I'm showing to you. Now here, if I scroll down and very quickly take you to one of the products, this is where you'll see the interaction is very different, right? So there were two buttons. This is one button. So what is happening here? This is where we have add to cart and buy now, and this is where there is just one button, send inquiry. So this is an interaction which you can have for your B2B business, because when your objective is to generate leads, obviously you cannot take orders, right? So you would want to generate leads. So in that case, you can have this kind of an interaction. So same technology and same kind of offering, but how you are using it totally depends on you. And this is not like technology is deciding what is good for you. This is where you are deciding that I want to generate leads or I want to receive orders. Now, are these the only two types of interactions possible, or can we do both of them? Yes, you can do that. I'll show you the third example, and this is where I'll very quickly open one of the products. So this is where you can see we have send inquiry and add to cart. So I'll very quickly take you. So this is an example of B2B where you have add to cart and buy now. So this is where a prospective customer, or just imagine I am a customer, so I can come here, do an add to cart, and I can place an order, right? So this is one type of interaction which is typically used by businesses who are into business to customer or direct to customer kind of operations. Now we have another example which I showed you. Sorry, I think I clicked on the other tab. So this is another type of interaction wherein, just imagine that I am someone who's looking for these products for my business. In that case, I can come here and I can send them an inquiry that I am looking for like 10,000 pieces of plug rubber, and you can share me the quotation. I want them delivered to this place. So this is where this business is not generating an order. It is generating a lead from someone who is interested in their product or their service offering. The third, which I showed here, this is where we have combination of both of them. So here we have send inquiry and add to cart. So anyone who is interested to, sorry, interested to buy from them in bulk, they can use the send inquiry option. And a retail customer who are buying for their personal use 1 or 2 units, they can do an add to cart and they can place an order. So this is the third type of digital catalog that you can have. There is a fourth version also available. Let me just quickly show you. So the fourth version is slightly different, and if I can quickly show you this website. So this is where if you're looking this website, you'll feel that, Adnan, this looks like any other typical websites or digital catalogs. So this is where, as a customer, we can go and we can buy the product. I'm just opening the product page, so add to cart and buy now. So it looks similar to this example which I showed to you, right? You will agree, but there is a difference, and I'll just quickly show you the difference. So how this solution is helping this business. They are a leading manufacturers of pre-mixes which are used in coffee vending machines. Now, a retail customer, suppose I want to buy it for my personal use, I can very well go to this website and place an order, right? So that is something which is happening. So business to customer or direct to customer, it is happening the way it happens on any other website, on any other digital commerce platform. The other side of distribution business, which is wherein a bulk buyer wants to buy it from them. So for example, I am a person who operates multiple cafeterias in hospitals, airports, etc. Now I want premixes for my vending machines. And that is where it is little cumbersome for me to call up the salesperson and place an order, something like that. So I'm constantly looking for a more efficient solution. In that case, what I can do is I can come here and I can ask them to onboard myself. So I'll fill in this brief form which you're seeing on the screen, and I'll get onboarded onto this solution. Now their team will ask me questions like what is the volume we are looking at, and then there will be obviously be some discussion or some negotiation happening between me and their team about the rates or the type of discount they will give me because I'm buying in bulk. All right. So once all that is settled, they will onboard me. They'll add me as one of the bulk buyers at the back end. And once they have done that, I can just simply come here, log in using my contact number, and then I can proceed ahead to select the products that I'm wanting to buy for my cafeterias, and I can place an order. Now, when I'm placing an order, contrary to how a retail customer places, I will be getting the specified discount that they have agreed to give me, right? So they have said that we'll give you 20% discount on the price. I will get that. In fact, if they have agreed to give me a credit period, I will also get a credit period, right? So all that minimum order quantity, all that can be managed from the back end. So this is where this business is able to do digitally not only the retail part wherein retail customers are buying, but also the distribution part where wholesalers or distributors or retailers or bulk buyers, institutional buyers are buying from them in bulk. All right. So these were few examples I thought of sharing. There are a few more examples from various industries I thought of sharing. This is from hospital equipments. This is one example. This is from construction site tiles. This is personal care items. This is a sari manufacturer. This is wigs. This is fire safety equipment. For example, let's not spend a lot of time here. So we'll very quickly switch our screen and go back to the presentation. So type of digital catalog depends on what you expect it to do. So generate leads is one type of digital catalog. Generate orders is other type of digital catalog. Leads as well as orders, and distributor and retailer orders, B2B. So all the four examples have explained to you. Now let's quickly move on to the next topic, that is digital versus information website. So digital and information website, obviously we understand digital catalog is something where it has those two specialized things. It can showcase information about your business and product and services, and then it can generate leads and inquiries. So this is where we have done a quick comparison of information website with a digital catalog. So it has more number of products. The information can be displayed in a better way. The SEO can be done in a better way, search engine optimization. You can run more focused promotional campaigns. Even B2B businesses can run more focused promotional campaigns with a digital catalog, which is typically not possible with an information website. We'll not be spending our time and energy here. Now, this is another topic wherein I've just added the slide. This was not part of the original agenda, but I've added this slide because this is something which often gets discussed in these types of webinars or interactions when I have with business owners. A lot of business owners in past have shared this question or argument with me that why should we look at a SaaS solution and not do a custom build, right? So they have this हम अपना बना लेते हैं, हम अपनी website बनाते हैं. So that sort of questions. So firstly, what is a SaaS and what is a custom build? So SaaS is something where you are SaaS, by the way, is a short form for software as a service. So if you have to understand this with an example, so a lot of us use business emails on Gmail, right? So for example, my email is mohammed.adan@digitationworld.com, but it is a Gmail's, so it is provided, the entire solution is provided by Gmails, right? So the email client, everything is from Gmail. So this is where I am using Gmail services for my email, and that is where I'm using the services. So it is software as a service. So you're using it as a service, but you're not owning the Gmail. So I'm paying subscription. So that does not mean I'm buying the Gmail. Gmail, the code, the technology, everything remains with Google, and I'm just subscribing to use their services. So that is a SaaS example. Similarly, when you're creating your digital catalog, you essentially don't have to buy everything. You can subscribe to it, and you can use it. The second is custom solution, wherein you are getting it built ground up. So typically, larger platforms or in past, even digital commerce websites were built ground up. So, for example, Magento website building, getting them built ground up. I'm quoting a name. That does not mean that there's something wrong with Magento. It is just like uh, many businesses don't have a requirement, or though they don't essentially require to have a platform built custom up. Why so? Understand, it is not your business. Digital is not your business. Your business is selling your products or offering your services, right? So if you're into a website development business, or if you're creating a product up, or if you have a vision that I want to sell it off, and so I want to grow the business and sell it off one day, and the potential investor may have a requirement that you should have a proprietary technology or proprietary solutions. In that case, you can consider getting into a custom build. But for 99% of other businesses, you don't have to get into a custom build. More important reason which people fail to realize, that this is a obsolete, or this is a solution, or this is something which will get obsolete one day, right? The smartphones that you were using 5 years ago, are you using them till now? Or 5 year is a shorter duration. Like 7 years ago, are you using them now? No, because technology has changed, the hardware, the software, everything has changed. So if you are getting into a customer, be clear on the fact that what you're buying is a depreciating asset. Over, even though it is a technology, it is just a code, but it is a depreciating asset which will get obsolete one day. And the obsolescence, or the rate of getting obsolete, is much quicker, right? So it is something which you will have for 3 to 4 years, and after that, the code, the technology, everything has changed so much that it will become redundant. It will be of no use. So why to invest your hard-earned money into something like that? Why not to just subscribe to it and keep using it, unless you are creating something custom or unique, right? So the other differentiators is something which I've captured on the slide. Will not be spending our time and effort there. Now we will jump into the important topic of how to create digital catalog, and that's where I am going to switch my screen, and we'll very quickly go to the account. Where do we have the account? So this is where we have an account. So I'm assuming you have already created an account on GlobalLinker. So this is from here onwards, we'll be starting the journey, and I'll be walking you through the step-by-step process of creating your digital catalog, your own digital catalog. So if you have not created your account on GlobalLinker, just quickly go and create your account on GlobalLinker. And once you have logged into your account, so that is where the next step is to click on this option which says online store, which will redirect you to the seller panel of your online store. This is the seller panel. This is not the complete one. We will be navigating to the complete one. Now, this is where our digital catalog journey has started. Now, the next step is to click on Convert Now, which will open this overlay. On this overlay, there are three simple questions which are asked. What is the main purpose of your online store, B2B, B2C? How many products would you like to have on your digital catalog? Now, related to this, some people ask me that what is the maximum limit? So there's no maximum limit. You can have as many products as you want on your digital catalog. And what is the minimum order quantity? So do you want to have the minimum order quantity feature? You can select yes or no. And then click on next. It will bring you to the screen. On the screen, you are required to choose a design template as per your choice, right? So there are various design templates which you are seeing on the screen. So there's a long list. You can review it and decide whichever one you are liking, and you can select it. Now that relates to many question, and technically, if you're looking at, this is a very simple field. All you are expected to do is to just review it like this, and whichever is looking nice, just select it, right? But this is where many people get stuck. So this is where what we'll do is very quickly we'll try to understand this concept of design team or template. So for that, again, I am going to switch my screen and I'll take you to another presentation which I have opened alongside. Now here you can see I have just one slide here, and the one slide has 5 words: how to create digital catalog, right? Now, this slide, and if I go full screen, this is how it is appearing. So there's a black background, the font is in white, and there's a particular type of font, and we have some graphics on the side, right? This is how it is appearing. Now, if I quickly change the theme or template to something like this. So this is where the information or the 5 words which we had added to the slide, how to create digital catalog, it has remained the same. So there's absolutely no change in that. However, how it is getting displayed on the screen has changed significantly, right? So these themes or templates, what they do is this display your information which you're adding to your digital catalog in a different way, right? So one theme will display it differently, the other theme will display it differently. If I change to another design template, this is how it is presenting. So now the background is green, the font is white, but the font has changed, the graphic has changed, right? So the way of presenting the information has changed significantly, but the information has remained the same, right? So if we quickly jump back to our screen, this is where what are we seeing? We are seeing different methods of showcasing the information about your business, right? So these are different options which are available to you. Now you can use any of the options as you want. The first frequently asked question is, what if we chose a template and a few days down the line, probably 15 days or a month down the line, we're not liking it. We are feeling that it is not going to do the right justice. It is not going to present our product information in the right manner. So can we change the design theme? The answer is yes, you can change the design theme, you can change the template, and it will take you hardly few seconds to move from one design theme to another design theme. So please don't worry at all onto that if I'm choosing something, can I change that? Yes, you can change that. In fact, it is something that you're expected to change. You're not expected to be married to a particular design template. It is something that you're expected to change at least once in a year, so that you can have a fresh looking digital catalog that has all the latest ways of presenting the information, so that you stay relevant to your business, or more importantly to your customers, so that we are able to engage with your customers in the right manner, right? So this is something you are expected to change, so don't stress a lot about it. Now the third question related to design template is, how do we choose the right template? And this where I'm not sure how many of you have realized that all of us have this, or most of us have this problem, that everything is looking beautiful, right? So this is where this theme is looking beautiful, this is looking beautiful, this is looking beautiful, everything is looking beautiful. So how do we choose from so many options? So that's where one option which is obviously in front of you is to close your eyes and put your finger any of the template and use them. But that's not a very systematic thing. I'll not advise you doing that. The other thing is that if you can complete this process, you can go through this steps which I'm going to show to you. And once you have completed those steps, add few of your product or service offerings onto your digital catalog, few of them, 4 or 5 of them, and then go to the theme section, apply a theme, see how it is appearing on the front end, how it is showcasing your product and services, and then apply the second one, then apply the third one. It will take you some time, half an hour, 45 minutes, but you will be able to understand which are the themes which are showcasing your product or services in the most beautiful manner, and then you'll be able to make that choice. All right. Now coming back to the discussion, so we'll choose a template and we will quickly move on to the next and the last template or last overlay. And here we have two input fields, or by the way, three of them. The first one is the store name, and this is where you'll see the business name is repopulated, but if there are any typing errors or anything, you can correct that. Then we have URL, which is blank. In case you have added a product to while you are creating your GlobalLinker account. In that case, there will be some code written here. So don't worry, just delete that code, or if it is blank, in that case, just type the business name like this. So we have typed the business name, and then you have a language selection feature. So this is where you can select language. Now, why am I not getting any options? So in certain countries where we are present, there is a secondary language also available. So in that case, users are able to select the local language which is available. It is not relevant to us. So these are the only two things that we have to do. Now, the store URL is again another question magnet, where a lot of people ask me questions about what is this URL, and then what is this linker. So we'll answer all of them very quickly. So the first question is, what is URL? So URL is something that we type to open a website. For example, to open Google, we type google.com. Similarly, tomorrow, if someone has to open your digital catalog, access your digital catalog, what they are typing, that's what we are trying to define here. Now, what is linker.store? So linker.store, which you can see here, I'm not sure how much it is visible on your screen. So linker.store is our subdomain that we are providing to users like you, so that you can create your digital catalog and you can use it for as long period as you want. But what is the purpose of doing this? You must be thinking. So the purpose of providing our subdomain to our members is to make this journey as convenient as possible. Now, you'll also agree that most of us don't create websites on a day-to-day basis, right? So, and we all have this psychological thing in our head that it is technical, it requires coding knowledge, or it requires technical knowledge. You have to be extremely good with computers to create websites or digital catalog, right? This is something which is there in our heads. All of us have that. If I was not in the technology space, I will also have the same thinking, the same feeling, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So with that feeling, with that understanding, what comes is stress, because we are doing something which we assume or we imagine it as a difficult thing, right? So we're thinking it is a difficult thing. So obviously we are stressed. It is absolutely possible. And when you are stressed, if we ask you to point your domain to our server or implement an SSL, that will be absolutely overwhelming, and you may not continue or you may drop off. But we want this journey to be as convenient as possible. So that's where we are providing our subdomain, and you can use it for as long period as you want. However, we are not forcing you to use our subdomain. You can use your own domain. Now, this is where again I can imagine that I am confusing few of the participants. So especially the ones who are not very familiar. So this is where I'll start with an example. So this is where we are looking at a digital catalog of one of our users, and they have decided to use linker.store. So this is where you can see their domain is bhaviapexenterprises.linker.store. So when you type bhaviapexenterprises.linker.store, you are able to open this digital catalog. Whereas the other examples which I showed to you, this is a B2B industrial product example, or this example, they have taken their digital catalog live on their own domain. So when you're typing desirebeverages.in, that is where this digital catalog opens up, right? So it is entirely your decision. If you want to take it live on your own domain, you can do that. If you want to use linker.store, you can do that, right? And if you want to take it live on your own domain and you're getting stuck or you're finding it difficult, you can reach out to us, or our help desk team will be more than happy to help and guide you. Okay, so I will just edit it. This particular domain was not available, Sharp Fashion. So this is where we have completed the 3 steps, and now we have to click on this option. So on the top of your screen, you'll see that there is this icon which looks like a home or hut. So you have to click on that, which reveals this overlay. I'll just quickly close this overlay because we will be discussing about this aspect later. So for the benefit of time, I'll close that. Now on the home screen, and I will also close this one. So on the home screen, this is where you can see there are 3 steps which are written. The first step is to create your catalog. So this is where you have to add one product, and then you have to set up shipping zone and activate payment. However, it is not mandatory that you have to do these steps in the systematic order, but just for ease of understanding, we'll click on the first option, create your catalog, and we will very quickly navigate to the add product interface. Now here, many times people have asked me that we have a fairly large catalog, so we have like hundreds or thousands of products. In that case, if we just add the information, or if we use this process which we are seeing on the screen, it will take us months to add all our products. So in that case, is there a bulk process available wherein we can just feed in the information into an Excel file and upload our products? Yes, the bulk process is available. Very quickly, I'll just show everyone from where you can do that. So I'll open the products interface in another screen. So if you click on the left navigation catalog and then you click on products, and this is the interface which opens up. There are no products added at the moment. Now here, extreme right side, you'll see there's an option and there's a down pointing arrow. You click on that and then it reveals an option which says import product XLS CSV. That means upload product using an Excel file. If you click on it, it will take you to this page. On this page, you'll have this option of download sample import format. You can download the format, input the information into the format, and then you can upload it. So that is how you'll be able to upload products in bulk. Now, very quickly, for the benefit of time, I'll very quickly add a product. And I will not be explaining these fields in a greater detail. There's a tutorial content available on our YouTube channel wherein we have explained the product upload process. But because we are nearing the end of the session, so I'll very quickly upload one product. Now here we have accept orders and accept inquiry. So this is the example which I was showing to you earlier. So this is accept order example, and this the other example. There's a accept inquiry example. Can you have both of them? Yes, you can do that. Then we have units. So the unit of measure I'm selecting. Then we have a brief description. Adding. Then we have SKU code. So this is a unique identifier of the product. And then we have a product code. So product code is used to identify products that have variants. So for example, a t-shirt available in multiple sizes, those kind of things, wherein it is the single product, but it has multiple options. Threshold is the reorder level. Then we have minimum order quantity. For retail businesses, it is 1, but for B2B, it can be a higher value. Category is something which we use for identification. So casual. Casual shirt is the category that I'm adding. It is not going to be displayed on the front end. It is used for setting up the navigation. I'll be explaining that later. Brand is something. So if you're dealing in a branded item, you can add the brand from here. Labels are used, are like virtual stickers which you can add on your products, and tags are used for setting up navigation and enhancing the search on your online store. Then we have country of origin, product condition, new use of viewer, refurbished, and then we have brochures in files. So if you have a brochure of the product, that can be added from here. Visibility should be B2C or both. It should not be B2B. Otherwise, the products will not be visible. So B2B is a controlled visibility. So you are granting access to certain people, and only those individuals can see those products. So this is a hidden visibility. So don't select B2B, select both or B2C unless you're using the supply chain feature. Then we have product description. So this is where you can add more description. Dimensions and weight is used for calculating delivery fee. We'll just ignore that variant. So I'll add size variant and small, large. So just type the name of the variant and press comma, and it will get accepted, small, medium, and large. And then we have the selling price, stock, if you want to edit. And last is SEO related information that can be added here. So we'll very quickly add the images from our device. So we'll put it in the product folder. We'll click on upload, and I will quickly select the images. I think here we have all the images. So I'll select all 4 of them, and they are getting uploaded onto the image manager. Now we have to just tell the system which should be the first one, which should be the second one. So this is the first one. This can be the second one, third one, and the last fourth one. Now, maximum 6 images can be added, and the dimensions are written here, 800 by 1000 pixel. That's the ideal dimension. And then you have the maximum size is 2 MB. So don't get over fascinated with the fact that having a heavier image will make it look better. It will be suicidal on your part. So don't do that. The lighter, the better. And like a low resolution image will not look nice on your website is absolutely a myth. And understand realistically, think realistically, majority of the browsing happens on mobile devices, right? So it's about 70 to 80% browsing happens. So that is where people will be looking at your digital catalog. Now, if you're uploading a very large image like 3000 pixel, 4000 pixel broad, the mobile screen is 400 pixel. What is the use, right? So don't do that. So we have uploaded one product very quickly. We'll be going back to the home screen. So this is where set up shipping zone. So two more steps are remaining. So let's quickly go to the set up shipping zone. So we will click on that and we'll click here. It will take us to the shipping zone section. This is where we have this shipping zone overlay. On this overlay, there are two things that you have to do. First is estimated time. Just put in a value here. I'm putting 3 days. And fixed rate, I'm just adding 100 here. So shipping zone feature is used to calculate delivery. If we are into the B2C space and you're wanting to receive orders, you would certainly want to charge some delivery fee. So it is used to charge delivery fee, but you can set it up later once you have signed up with a courier company and they've provided you the rate list, and based on that you can set it up. But as part of the store creation journey, you can just put in few values here and click on update so that this task gets completed. We'll quickly go back to the home screen, and now we have to accept payment. So this is the last step. So we'll click on get paid and it will take us to the payment management interface. Now here, cash on delivery can be enabled very quickly. So you can just go to cash on delivery and enable it for now. The other payment options can be enabled at a later stage, right? So we have completed all the steps. Now we have to go to the theme section. So in the left navigation, we have My Store. You click on there and then you go to themes. And this is where this is the Destiny theme. Click on Actions, click on Apply. That is where the theme gets applied. So we have applied the theme. Now we will have to set up the navigation. So for that, we will go to the navigation and we will add a navigation item. Now, if you are getting confused, what is the navigation? So this company profile, products, industries, all this is part of navigation. So if a person is visiting and they're looking for, let's say, they're looking for O-rings, so they can come here and they can click on O-rings and they can see what all O-rings are available with this particular supplier, right? So this is where we have to add the menu. We'll click on add menu items and we will create a menu item called men's fashion. And the category, so we'll be selecting the casual shirts that we have added. We'll click on save. So we have men's fashion. Now we'll create a subcategory shirt called shirt. And again, we'll select casual shirt. And if we want, we can even have a third level, right? And now both of them are at the same level. So we have to drag it a little bit towards right. And you may feel that it has flown off the screen. No worries, nothing has happened. Click on update and it will start appearing. So men's fashion and shirt is the categorization or navigation that we have created. Now the last thing that we have to do is to upload banners. For that, we will go to store preview and we will come here. So this is used for two things. One is to update the color scheme. So this is the navigation that we have created. And second is to upload banners. We'll very quickly upload the banner from here. So I clicked on this yellow dot and now we will open the image manager, click on upload. Again, upload the banners from our device. So I have the banners here. So I'll select both mobile and desktop banners. And those are uploaded onto the image manager. Now we have to select them. And then we have to provide the link. So this is the CTA link. So if some person clicks on it, where should they land? Sorry. Clicked on reading mode wrongly. So this is where if a person clicks on the banner, they should go to the shirts page. So that's what we have done here. So we'll click on apply. The banner is uploaded. Now the last thing that we have to do is to click on save and publish, and that will complete our online store creation journey. So this is how you'll be able to create your online store, your digital catalog. So this is where we'll quickly go back to our presentation. We have understood the process. Now complete the completeness checklist for your digital catalog. This is something that I want all of you to use once you have completed your digital catalog. So after this journey, you have to upload more products or activate payments. So do all that. Now this is where you have various tools which are available, which you should use to uh, check how complete is. So there is a completeness checklist which I've embedded here. So you can click here and you can download that file and use it. There's a search check, so you can use it from here. And this is where we have the mobile responsiveness check. So this is where I've added the links to the formats you can use. And this is where I have added few tools which you can use. So performance check, we have Google PageSpeed and GD Matrix, and then we have content plagiarism checker or content analysis, and then SEO tools are here which you can use. So we'll be sharing the copy of this presentation so that you can have access to this. Now, the last point which we have in our discussion list is how to avail of digital catalog setup service. So digital catalog setup service is something which is available to our users. So many users are not comfortable creating these digital catalogs on their own. They want to avail of services of professionals who can do it for them. So you have two options available: do it yourself, wherein you're learning everything, how to set it up, how to create banners, or how to upload product. You're learning, literally learning everything and doing it yourself. So that is one option which is available. The other option is you can hire someone who already knows and is an expert into that, and they can do it for you. So that is where you can outsource it. So if you are doing it yourself, you have to invest your time and energy, and then you have to understand the nitty-gritty, etc. Outsource it. It is created by professional. They understand the best practices of that industry, and they'll be able to do it in a better way. So if you are interested to avail the digital catalog setup service, in the presentation, I've provided the link. I'll also be sharing the link in the chat, so you can submit your request, and one of our colleagues will be connecting with you, and they'll understand their requirement, and then they'll share with you the commercial. So it is a paid service which is available, but we thought of sharing that option also with the participants in today's webinar. So this is where now we are going to break into the question answer round. So I am going to stop sharing my screen, and then we will start answering your question. So thank you everyone for taking out your time and participating in the webinar. I hope you found the session informative. So let me turn off the screen share, and we will now break into the question answer round. While I request everyone to add your questions in the Q&A. In the interim, I will just quickly share the link so that you can uh, submit your request for availing the digital catalog setup service. So I'm going to add the link in the chat. So I've just shared the link in the chat, and now I am going to again share my contact details. As I mentioned earlier when we were starting off this session, that we'll try our best to explain everything to you and also answer your question. But there is a possibility that there may be something which is not very clear to you, or you would want to have a personal discussion with me. So in that case, do feel free to connect with me. I've just shared my contact details in the chat. Just drop me an email, and I'll be more than happy to assist and guide you. So I can see there are a few questions in the chat. Uh, this first question is from Muskan Arora, search engine. I'm not clear on that. Muskan, I'll appreciate if you can share more details about your question. The next question, anonymous attendee. I think the question is in Russian. I'm not familiar with Russian, so I'll request if you can ask your question in English. Next question from Mr. Somnath Bhattacharya. So, Somnath ji, I am going to share with you an email ID that is from FIO, the Federation of All India Export Organization. So, you can drop an email, and one of the government official will be able to guide you with the export process. So, he wants to understand, he has received some order from international buyers, and he wants to understand the process of exporting his product. He deals in fishes. So, Tomnaji, I've chatted to you the email ID. So you can drop an email onto that, or you have my email ID. You can drop me an email, and I'll forward it to the concerned person. Uh, Next question from Mr. Arun Nair. So his question is it customizable? So it depends on what type of customization you would want to do. So if you want to change the banners, or if you want to change the color scheme of the template, yes, you can do that. Can you change the front end if you know the HTML coding? Yes, you can also do that. Next question from Mr. Arun Nair. So, Arunji, as a merchant exporter, what you can do is you can create a digital catalog wherein you can list out the different types of products that you help your international buyers in buying, and then you can generate leads and inquiries. So, there are many merchant exporters who are associated with us who have created their digital catalog. So, if you go to Indian Business Portal, you'll find many of them listed there. So, you can create your digital catalog. The apprehension which I can imagine, which is there in your mind, that you don't own a product, but you deal in a variety of products. So you can have representative products, right? So this is the kind of handicraft, or this is the agri product that we deal in, and then people can connect with you, and then you can uh, do business with them. Uh, Next question is from I think if I'm, pardon me if I'm mispronouncing your name, Shivlal UV. Do you provide email IDs with the website? No, sir, we don't provide email IDs with the website. This is where you're creating the digital catalog. The domain is yours. SSL is something that you'll be implementing, and you can get the email IDs from whichever operator you want. Gmail or Zoho provides free email ID. You can even use their services. Somnaji, you have provided your email ID. I didn't wanted that. You can drop me an email, or I have shared an email ID with you on the chat. So you have to send an email with to them. So whatever you have written in the question, you have to send that on this email ID, which I'm sharing again with you in the email, and a government official will guide you with the process. So this was the last question, which I can see in the chat. So any other question? I'll very quickly look into the chat. Next question I can see from Mr. Rajesh Google. What are your charges? So, Rakesh ji, it varies from business to business and the type of requirement. So that's where I would request if you can drop your inquiry, and one of our colleague will connect with you. They'll understand your requirement, and they will help you, or they'll provide the commercials with you. I'll not be able to. So there's no like standard package which is available. It varies from business to business. Next question from Mahesh V. Provide the recording. So recording is available now. If you're asking for the recording of this webinar, it will be emailed to you. So the email ID that you have used to join today's session, we will be emailing you the recording of this webinar as well as a copy of this presentation. So you'll get that on the email ID. And if you want to access recordings of any of my previous webinars, so you can go to YouTube and search for GlobalLinker, and that's where you'll find the recording of our previous webinars. Next question from Mr. Praveen. I'm sorry, I'm not able to read your full name. So Praveen wants to understand, does it require ICICI Bank account? No, absolutely not. However, if you're an ICICI Bank customer, you may be joining through our partnership that we have with ICICI Bank. Next question, Kahana Tech, can you link our website? So Kanatech, this is where we can help you migrate to our platform. We can certainly do that. We'll be able to help you in migrating to our platform. Next question, which I can read in the chat. Kamakshi overseas trader to make a digital catalog. Yes, traders can also make digital catalog. Okay, I think a few of the participants wants the link to submit the request. So I'll just share the link again. So this is where I'm sharing the link in the chat again. All right, so this is where I think that was the last question. Again, I am going to share my contact details as well as the link in the chat before we conclude the session for today. So that if any one of you would like to connect with me or would like to submit your request for availing the digital catalog setup service, you can do that. So let me just do that very quickly. And this is where we should conclude the session for today. I hope you found the session informative, and I always believe this is the start of a long and fruitful relationship. So I look forward to connecting with you personally as well as seeing you in my future sessions. So this is where we should conclude today's session. Thank you everyone for taking our time and participating in the session. You have my contact details. Absolutely feel free to connect with me. And I look forward to having you in my future sessions as well. So bye-bye from